Now to a real treat, a special encounter with one of the world's major recording and movie artists. And Richard joins us again to kick off the series.
Yeah, this is definitely a lady with all the gas going, Janine. Thanks for that. As promised this morning, we're delighted to present part one of our exclusive series of interviews with Bette Midler, recorded recently in Los Angeles. The first up, and today Bette talks about growing up in Hawaii and those early days of her amazing career. Of course, when you say the name Bette Midler, a myriad of images springs to mind. The self-appointed queen of camp, the crazy redhead, although she's naturally a blonde, became the bawdy, loudmouth, sassy showgirl with her colourful characters, language and glitzy costumes. All good, clean, dirty fun.
Gonna get married, going to the chapel of love.
On the other hand, she's the torch song singer with the tear-your-heart-out emotion, singing songs that'll bring a tear to the eye and have you crying into your beer. In an illustrious, multifaceted career that spanned nearly 30 years, her abundant talent goes from strength to strength. Her latest musical offering, no exception. The new album, Bathhouse Betty, is the divine Miss M at her very, very best.
I could forgive and we could start again. In the end, you are my one true friend.
You have this ability to make us laugh and make us cry.
I think that's my best thing. That's what I do, the better and more than other entertainers do.
When did you first realize that you weren't like the other little girls?
Oh, very early, very early. That was hard.
In Hawaii?
In Hawaii, because I always wanted to be like the other little girls. But ultimately, you know, you make peace with who you are and where you came from and what your story is, your myth. And I've done that. I've done that. I say, well, I'm just who I am, and I'm going to get what I get because of who I am. And I've gotten, I mean, in my lifetime, I've made so many people happy, and I've had a wonderful time. So I must say that whatever it was that I went through when I was a kid made me what I am, so I've got to be grateful.
Was it in your blood, or was it your upbringing, or
I think it's all everything, you know, it's everything. It's your upbringing, it's, you know, your parents teach you what's important in life. They teach you how to be correct, how to have ethical behavior. They teach you what's right. They teach you compassion. That's what my parents did for me. They taught me how to have compassion for the next guy. Because when you don't have compassion, you're really selfish. And I don't think that a real artist can be selfish. I think a real artist has to have a conscience, and I think a real artist has to have
soul.
A soul. Really, you have to have a soul. So that I have to give them the credit for. They really whipped me until I learned that. I'm not saying they whipped me with a stick or a, although they did that too.
Yeah, but you didn't have it easy, is it?
I didn't have it easy.
When you left Hawaii, you went to New York.
Yeah.
What took you there, and how did you know that was the place to be?
My parents were from New Jersey, and they used to talk about New York as though it was El Dorado, you know, the Golden City. And here we were in paradise, and they never referred to it as paradise. In my mind, New York was the golden place to be. So when I got to be about 19, I left home, and I got to New York, and I was very comfortable there. I was very happy there. I loved the pace of it. It was very speedy. I was always very speedy. Hawaiians are notoriously laid back. You know, they have like Hawaiian Standard Time, which is, oh, well, you know, one of these days it'll work out. And so I loved the pace of the city, and I loved the time. I came at a great time in New York's history. Subsequently, in the 70s, you know, when New York had its financial problems and everything, things got much harder in New York, and the city really hasn't climbed out of it, that situation. And I've gotten so much older, so now when I go to Hawaii, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Hawaii, oh thank God, thank God. And I really appreciate it, because I've been everywhere in the world, and I think it's the most beautiful place in the world. But those years in New York were fabulous, fabulous years, just great.
The first thing you did was Fiddler on the Roof, I understand, yeah. But then you wound up in the Continental Bars.
Yeah, I did.
Playing with Barry Manilow.
Yeah, I did. We still talk. Well, I was in Fiddler for a long time, and I couldn't get another job. Nobody wanted my type. I didn't sing in the way that people usually sang in musical comedies, and I wanted to be independent. So I started going to these nightclubs, and I was called one day by this singing teacher of mine. And he said, well, there's a guy in my office who's looking for a singer, and he wants someone to come and sing some sort of pop songs in a bathhouse. And I said, oh, what does it pay? Because I didn't have a nickel, 2 nickels to rub together. And he said, well, it pays $300 a week. Well, $300 a week, I was like, oh my God. I mean, even in Fiddler on the Roof, they were only paying 2 1/4. And I said, oh my God, $300 a week, I'll be there. And then he said, well, you know, it's a gay bathhouse. And I said, I don't care. Just get me the $300. So I called these friends of mine who were gay, and I said, what do you think it's going to be like? And they told me what to expect. And I went down there and I met the house band, which was really a drummer, rather, and a piano player named Billy Cunningham, who was a genius. And I was with him for quite a few months. And then he went on the road. And the new guy came in. And the new guy was Barry Manilow. And he was a tall drink of water, and but he also could play anything on sight, and he had a great ear, and he knew everything. He knew every song ever written. So we kind of got along really, really well. And he also had a great sense of humor. And
the legend was born.
Then there you go. There it was.
So when did the Divine Miss M kind of...
Well, that was the very first night. And the owner, Stephen Ostro, who I think lives in Australia now, he was very strange, stuck his head in the door and said, how do you want to be introduced? And I said, oh, just tell them I'm Divine. And one of my good friends, this gay friend of mine named Bill Hennessy, was a hairdresser, and he was doing my hair. And he always called me Miss M, and I always called him Mr. G. And I said, just tell him I'm Divine. And Bill called out, and call her Miss M. Say it's Miss M. So he went out and he said, and now we are pleased to present the Divine Miss M. And that was the end. That was it. And every weekend after that, it was the Divine Miss M.
She is just wonderful. Part 2 of that interview with Bette Midler tomorrow. After the program, we're going to leave you with probably one, well, no, not probably, one of her biggest hits called From a Distance. See you in the morning.
From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. And there are no guns, no bombs, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common land, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They're the song of every man. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance.
Our next hour.
Good morning to you. Today it's a great delight to bring you the second installment of our exclusive Bette Midler interviews. And today we talk to Ms. Midler about some of the movies she's appeared in, some of which she'd prefer to forget, and some that earned her rave reviews, Academy Award nominations and Golden Globe wins. Who will ever forget her compelling and dramatic performance in her very first film, the portrait of the tragic rock star in The Rose?
Lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
How do you feel when your first album wins a Grammy and your first movie wins an Oscar?
I didn't know. Well, my first movie didn't win an Oscar. I didn't win any. I was robbed. I didn't win anything for that movie. I won a Golden Globe. I won a nomination. I did get a nomination, but Sally Field beat me. One day I'll take it out of her. The interesting thing about my career was that I didn't know anything. I was very casual about everything because I didn't know that it was such a big deal. And in those days, actually, it was a big deal, but it wasn't as big a deal as it is now because there's so many outlets, you know, and so many, you know, everything's blown up so much. But in those days, you know, the Grammys had never been televised. This was like the first or second time they'd ever been televised. And I didn't know.
It's nice to get a prize.
It was nice to get a prize. I didn't know you were, you know, that people worked, you know, their whole life. I didn't know. So it was all very, I took it very, you know, casually.
Rose was a magnificent film and still is, which you must be enormously proud of, I guess.
I am very proud of that. I am. I'm very proud of it. And in retrospect, I'm even prouder because now that I know how they're made, and how hard it is to get anything done, I realize it was really quite an achievement.
How does it feel when something doesn't do quite as well? Because
it's torture. It hurts like hell. You can't imagine. It's so painful. Now it's much less painful because I've had so many bombs.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it.
But you've had more
But in
hits
the
than
old
misses.
days, oh my God, I used to take to my bed. I couldn't get out of bed for months on end. The third picture, Jinx, when that went into the toilet, oh my God, I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. And when we did For the Boys, we had worked so hard on For the Boys. And
well, you produced the whole thing and everything.
Produced it and helped guide it through its, you know, but it was treated like it was a bad film.
You guys are the sorriest bunch of grunts I ever saw in my life. Where the hell did you learn your manners? Don't you know you're supposed to say excuse me before you attack a lady?
Apart from that old feeling, which was wonderful, I love Dennis Farina, big favourite and all that. First Wives Club, huge hit around the world. We all laughed and loved the film.
I mean, as funny as that was on the screen, the shooting it was twice as funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I laughed until I cried.
Yeah. It was apparently going to be a much darker kind of film originally.
Yeah.
That's true.
The book that it was based on was it was really kind of sad. It was about which character? One of the characters had a handicapped child, and the husband leaves her and doesn't want to have anything to do with the kid. It was very sad. And the director wanted to rewrite the script. In fact, he did rewrite the script because he felt that it wasn't strong enough. He thought it was too much of a romp. And we felt, I and the two other girls felt that we had signed on to it. We really wanted to do this comedy for the chance to have a blast. And we sort of held firm on it. And I think we were right because there's a lot of drama in the world and not that much comedy. So I think we made the right choice.
And you're doing another one?
Well, no, we're not doing another one. I'd like to do another picture with the two of them, and there's a possibility that we can do that. But we don't have a good script for a sequel to First Wives. Although I thought an idea about my ex's ex would be where the three old wives have to take the younger wives under their protection because they're so dim. You know, but they don't know how to do anything, and they apply to the older wives. What will we do now? I don't know. I thought there was something. I don't know. There's
an idea there somewhere.
There's an idea in there, yeah.
Of course, in real life, you're blissfully, wonderfully, happily wed.
Well, I'm married. I don't know about how blissful it is, but we are still married. We've been married 13 years.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be some kind of record in this town.
I think so.
We were just trying to get back at our ex-husbands, which is a start, but it isn't enough. It's so petty. It's so limited. It's no wonder we're snarling at each other. No wonder we're at each other's throats. Listen, we have to take our plan and expand it. First thing, we take care of our own guys because they really have it coming. And then we go global.
Richard Wilkins with the divine Bette Midler there. We'll have part 3 of that interview tomorrow. News and weather next, and in our next
You're enjoying our series of interviews with the legendary Bette Midler. Today we talk to Ms. Midler about rumours of a television sitcom. Actually, it's hard to think of anyone more perfect for a sitcom than her. She also tells us how the entertainment industry has changed over the years and how her husband, Martin von Hasselberg, won't let her near the kitchen. Let's catch up with the divine Miss M. We hear lots of things about you. A TV sitcom. You squillions of all the money in the world to make a TV series, yeah?
Yeah, something happened there. We had some negotiations for a while, and then I didn't get a script. And I had been waiting for that, and I didn't get one, so I thought, oh, well. And I went and did a picture. I did a picture called Isn't She Great, which is the Jackie Suzanne story. Jackie Suzanne wrote Valley of the Dolls, and that I just finished, and that's going to be funny.
How has the industry changed over the years? I mean, you were named after a film star, apparently. Yeah. So that's true?
Yeah, I was named after Betty Davis, which I don't think pleased her. I gathered it. I don't know. Before she was very old, she was sweet to me. And then I saw her just before she died, and she was not very nice. But she wasn't very nice to anybody at the end.
She was a cranky old thing.
I heard she was cranky. And my experience with her was not very pleasant. So, yes, I was named after her. And, well, you know, when the studio system ended, it was every man for himself. And the people who were actors didn't get the kind of care lavished upon them that they once did. In the old days, when the studio would protect you, could have a pretty long career. You could go for a long, long time and still have the public adore you because the studio made sure that they did. But now that you don't have that, and women especially have really, really suffered. In the old days, at least 5 top 10 box office stars, at least 5, at least half. It was always at least half female. Now there's nobody. There are no females in the top 10 box office.
How do you know what's next? What's around the corner?
Well, what's around the corner? I'm coming to Australia.
When?
I don't know.
Why don't
I want to come to Australia. I've been there 20 years.
Come and sing.
I wanted to come the last show, but it was too expensive. I couldn't cart 60 people to Australia.
Just come, bring Barry, and
you know what? He would go.
I know he would.
He would go.
He loves it there.
He does. Well, what's not to love?
Seriously, you've got a daughter growing up, and I'm sure she's a priority. And
yes, she is.
You love your garden, apparently. And
that's right. You've been reading my mail.
You've got your hubby and all that stuff. But does the world kind of cry? I mean, you've got a lot of fans everywhere who...
I'm a lazy cow. I like to do nothing. I like to putter. I like to clean my closet. I like to go in the yard. You know, call the bee man. I like a
Jewish girl. You want to cook up a dinner?
I don't know. No, I'm not allowed in the kitchen anymore. I'm persona non grata.
Why?
Because I make too much of a mess, and my husband is extremely anal about the kitchen. So he's thrown me out.
Really? What you got to?
He does the cooking. He's very. He's
German.
He's a German. Well, that's it. You got it. I'm lazy. There's a lot of opportunity, but you know, you don't want to go full speed ahead every day of the year. You get tired. And I figure like, oh, the least. I'll do the least amount that I can get by with and still, you know, be popular.
The divine Miss M here on the Today Show, and tomorrow morning on the show, the final installment of our exclusive Bette Midler interview. I'll catch you then.
It's a wonderful song, and coming up soon on the Today program, music, the strongest suit for the multi-talented Bette Midler. That's in our next half hour.
Motorcycle race meeting this weekend. That's in our next half hour.
Good morning to you. Today it's a great pleasure to bring you the final installment of our exclusive Bette Midler interview. And it's her music that's under the spotlight today, and what a musical career it's been, spanning nearly 30 years from the heady days of her debut, The Divine Miss M, back in 1972, to her most recent album, Bathhouse Betty, which was launched just last week. Bette Midler has, in the process, become one of the few recording artists that just keeps on going. And like fine wine, she's matured into one of the most dynamic and poignant of singers of her generation. Whether it's ballads, pop, jazz, swing, or gospel, she does it all with an absolute joy. Today, we're proud to present, exclusive to the Today Show, the first single from the Bathhouse Betty album, a song which features in the forthcoming Meryl Streep movie, One True Thing. This is the theme song from the film, the very beautiful song, My One True Friend. The first single from the album, My One True Friend, is another one of those great Bette Midler songs.
And the song itself is a beautiful song. I was so lucky that they came to me. Carol Bayer Sager and Carole King, both of whom I know privately as personal friends, and David Foster, who is also a friend.
So you get an inside running.
They came to me, and this picture, One True Thing, is a picture in which my music is featured. And I saw the movie the other day. Meryl Streep is the star, and Renee Zellweger is in it, and Bill Hurt is in it. And there's a scene where Meryl and Bill Hurt dance to Do You Want to Dance, which was the first big hit that I ever had. And it's so moving, and I was so thrilled and delighted that they chose to use my stuff. And I think it's a nice little package that I'm singing the end credit song, and that my music is also in that scene. Very sweet.
It changes shape through changing eyes. What I denied, I now can see. You always were the light inside of me.
When you come across a song like that, you obviously know that because it isn't. I mean, it sits there with
Sure.
the Wind Beneath My Wings and From a Distance and Hero. I mean,
Yeah.
you've had some great songs come along.
I've been very lucky. The first big hit like that was Wind Beneath My Wings, which was a song that I'd really resisted at first. But the guy that I was working with he beat me with a stick, Mark Shaman. And I said, okay. And I sang it, and I got to a point where I understood the song. You know, at first it was, it's a country song, and I hadn't done a lot of country music, and I resisted covering country music because my audience is so urban. And it worked so well.
I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings.
When you're in the studio pouring your heart into a microphone, you must know when you get it right.
I do. And sometimes I get a little too carried away. There's a song on the record called Lullaby in Blue that I couldn't sing. I mean, it took me a couple of weeks to get in there and sing it to a point where I wasn't, sobbing at the end of it. It's really a pretty and very moving song. You do know. It says, oh, okay, that's it. I can't do any better than that. And then you shut the book on that one.
On the other hand, you have this reputation, I guess, as making people laugh and crack their sides with laughter. I mean, it's a real dichotomy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're both alive in the same body.
How come?
And we're having a ball. It's a little crowded in here, as Lady Diana would say. How come? I think it has to do with the where the emotions are in my personality. It's all very close to the surface, and I'm a fool. I'm just a fool, but it's my job too. It's my work, and I understand how to. I just have always understood how to do that, It's nothing I couldn't write a book about it. I couldn't teach anybody else how to do it. But it's something I've always been able to do. So I guess that's my gift.
Bette Midler talking exclusively to the Today Show, and our thanks to our friends at Warner Brothers for their help in bringing Bette Midler to your television set. To next week...
Three-part series with her, and just to remind you about that, we're going to leave you with a song called The Wind Beneath My Wings. See you tomorrow.
Bye, Steve. Bye, everyone.